this?
Holy crap. No, a mother, and she's married. She's not a single cat lady, but I know she's on social media. Do you do the TikTok stuff, Aaron? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you a TikTok user?
No, TikTok is the Chinese Communist Party spying tool. So, although it's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
So and the dancing videos are so self-indulgent, and I mean, honestly, I find TikTok. If you thought Facebook was bad, and you moved to Instagram, you think Instagram is bad. TikTok is the ultimate tool of self-involvement and self-indulgence. I really find it to be reprehensible. And meanwhile, all the while, the Chinese Communist Party is just stealing all your data and getting into your cell phone. So, yeah, hard no, hard pass. I'm going to skip that.
I'm with you. I don't do it. But what's funny is people are taking the videos and they're now putting they're showing up in my Twitter feed to mock these people. And I'm kind of enjoying it. I mean, again, I don't use it, but it's like these teachers, they're lunatics. They're staring right in the camera, singing about white privilege. Is there anything more tiresome than white people telling you how racist you are? Is that the most exhausting trend?
I don't think there could be anything more exhausting than that. And thank God these people aren't teaching my child, because there are things called math and science and reading that they have seemed to have forgotten about. And I think we should perhaps, I don't know, I'm no rocket scientist, but maybe we should focus on those things. Just spitballing here.
Aaron Elmore is executive director of USA Strong. And Aaron, I don't know that we've talked since you declared it official. Maybe we have, but I don't recall. You were a Philadelphian, like a Center City Philadelphian. And then I don't know that you made it official, or you were kind of coy about it at first, but like, I follow you on social media, and then I think you just fully embraced it and said, to hell with it, we're moving. And you went south, did you not?
Yes, we did. I mean, we still own a piece of real estate in Philadelphia, and the decisions have not all been made abundantly clear, but I declared residency in Florida after getting mugged in broad daylight in Center City, and the police saying basically, like, this is the new normal. I don't want to live like that anymore, and luckily I have a husband that is willing to let me make some of these key decisions. And honestly, there is still a lockdown going on in Philadelphia. I'm living in the red state of Florida, where we have been living our lives, going to the gym, going to the movies, going out to dinner without restrictions, not having mask police. I was in Martin County, which is one county north of Palm Beach County last night. There are no mask rules there. And the numbers there are very, very, very low. So people down here are living their lives with sanity and mental clarity, and not shoving white privilege down your face every 5 minutes. So I find this to be a little more livable place. Oh, and by the way, they're not talking about stimulus checks. They're stimulating the economy with work and business and industry, the way that the economy should be stimulated, not by printing more money and causing inflation. So longer answer than you cared for. Yeah, I'm out of there. Bye. Bye, Felicia.
You know what? Aaron Elmore, I earnestly mean this, and I think that this is not much talked about. The psychology of this, you just touched on it. Can you explain it? Because I'm not sure everyone totally internalizes the psychology of what goes on in a state like ours here in Pennsylvania and in neighboring New Jersey versus being around Floridians every day. The psychology of it. There is a literal difference in psychology that I think we have grown sadly accustomed to in the last year.
Well, yes. In the last year, you guys are still dealing with lockdowns. Gyms are barely open. You can't go out to eat more than 4 people inside. It's at 20%. Florida doesn't have any of these restrictions, yet Florida's COVID cases are lower. You know what I'm saying? And people say, oh, it's because Floridians are outside. No, they're not. I was at a hotel bar about a week ago inside. People are fairly close together and dining happily, and no one is angry. Like in the Northeast, whether it's New York, New Jersey, or Pennsylvania, there has been this COVID policing fear and this nastiness and this vitriol that you don't have. Floridians treat each other kindly and with respect and do each other favors out of the goodness of their hearts. I think that anyone living up north should try to, really trust the real science, which is that these lockdowns don't work and that masks don't work, and try to treat each other with kindness and decorum, and maybe your life will get a little better, because whatever's going on up there right now, it's just one step closer to socialism, and the negativity and the vitriol isn't working. It isn't helping anybody.
I'm beginning to wonder, I mean, this is maybe stupid optimism, but I'm beginning to wonder if the dam is starting to break. I don't know. I guess Farley's supposed to come out today and make announcements about, merciful Farley is going to maybe allow some of us to gather in the stadiums for the upcoming, season of baseball and other things. So we'll see. But anyway, not why you're here. You had a town hall. I'm sorry. Go ahead if you had something on that.
Well, I was going to say, how, first of all, the first step of socialism is breaking your spirit.
Yeah.
And compromising your morality and all of that. So that's already happened. But it's like going to a bread line and they're closed for 5 days, and on the 6th day the bread line's open. You say, well, at least we got bread today. Yeah. That's where you guys are. It's like, well, at least we might be able to go to a stadium.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the mental breaking down of one's spirit.
Yeah.
And messing with your psychology. You guys are now saying, well, at least we can maybe go outside and sit together today. That you realize where I'm coming from here. It's like, well, at least the dictator gave us bread today. We should be lucky. I mean, it's sad.
You're so right. I think about it all the time when I hear colleagues of mine discussing it, particularly on sports talk radio, when they talk about things like, hey, well, it looks like we're turning a corner and we might be allowed to ... And they say it very sincerely, allowed to. And I just think, my God, do you hear yourselves? We're Americans.
Yeah.
Allowed to.
Barely.
Oh, my gosh.
You guys someone needs to start like a revolt, and people need to run for office.
Yep.
Or else I don't foresee how this is going to get better anytime soon for anyone up there. You think you're going to get this jab in your arm and go back to normal? I mean, okay.
Yeah,
I pray for you.
It feels like not the way Fauci talks. I mean, it's, this week, Dr. Fauci with his, you can't, you can get the shot and still you got to maybe not go to the, enough. Anyway, you wrote a great piece at Town Hall, Aaron, about John Legend and pumping money into this god-awful Larry Krasner campaign. Can someone please speak to John Legend, the headline? I love it. Talk a little about it.
Thank you. And you know how when you sit down to write something, sometimes it's like laborious and takes like 5 days. I wrote this in like 10 minutes because it just like came out of me so naturally.
Yep.
So John Legend, the famous singer who's got the outspoken, in air quotes, supermodel wife, Chrissy Teigen, they're obviously big liberals. And I wrote this without vitriol and without hatred. John Legend is supporting George Soros-funded district attorney in Philly, Larry Krasner. And Larry Krasner is a former criminal defense lawyer, and he is now operating with Soros money to destroy Philadelphia, and that's the easiest way I can say it. And he's doing these fundraisers for Krasner. And I just said, can someone talk to him and tell him what Krasner is doing to the city? Just last year, more than 2,400 people were shot in Philly. Since Krasner was elected, murders have increased every year. Last year was 499 murders. Philadelphia had the distinction of the second highest homicide rate in the country. And this is no coincidence. This is what Krasner wants. This is what Soros wants. And I don't know if people know this. John Legend is a grad, or at least he attended the University of Pennsylvania. And for someone who purports to love the city and love the people, he's supporting a guy that wants to destroy it. And he's not helping people of color, Krasner. A lot of these crimes are happening in predominantly African-American neighborhoods. So I just want someone to find John Legend and talk to John Legend and just say, hey, John Legend, what you're supporting isn't helping your city or it isn't helping your communities that you purport to care about. I wish someone could get this article in his hands, that's all.
Well, I mean, particularly given this week, another cash, no cash bond for a guy who rapes a woman at the Macy's in Center City this week. I mean, Aaron, it's like it's turning into Gotham. I mean, it's just utter hell. It's a hellscape. The crime in Center City that Larry Krasner's overseeing, and the cops. The guy's setting up a backdrop, covering the wall of heroes, our fallen officers. He's covering it up purposely, claiming he has to do it because of the law. Just flagrantly disrespectful to law enforcement. He is thumbing his nose at cops in town, and it's inmates running the asylum stuff, and he's overseeing it. Everybody knows it. He's purposely botching prosecutions. I mean, they say he's literally just throwing cases to let guys walk. I can't imagine a guy who claims to love Philadelphia would be happy with that. As you say, if John Legend is sincere.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what his motivation here is. And the police are so important to communities. And the police officers all say that they don't feel that the mayor and district attorney are here to support them. They can barely do their job. And that's why this is no longer about COVID. So you left Philly because of COVID and say, these COVID lockdowns aren't going to last forever. Okay, so maybe that's the case. But the crime isn't going away, folks. You go to Center City, it isn't. I felt very safe in Philadelphia. I didn't just show up there 5 years ago. I've been living in Philly since 2000, okay? That's a 21-year clip I've done. COVID is one thing. Danger and fear and crime are completely different things. And unless Philadelphians wake up and elect somebody else, the city isn't going to come back. And it's not going to be a 5-year problem or a 10-year problem. It's going to be a 40 or 50-year problem. So people, we need to wake up and do something. And although I have left, I still care. I'll be back next week. I still consider Philly my home. We need to do something. I want someone a lot smarter than me and a lot more involved than me to tell me what that is, because I'm here to support it. And that's why the PAC, the Protect Our Police PAC, is a good place to start. I don't work with them. These are guys I just reached out to. I mentioned them in the article that I care about. Maybe you should have someone from that PAC on your radio show if you can, Chris.
Okay.
Because they are here. They're here to make Philadelphia better, protect our police, and they agree that Krasner's got to go. They can't talk politics because they're a 501c3 nonprofit, but they're here to protect our police. So please, if you can have someone on, they'll talk about this more cogently and more articulately than I, because I'm scared for Philly. I'm really scared.
Yeah, and I know you're not alone. I mean, lifers I've talked to here that feel the very same. Erin Elmore, townhall.com, her piece is, "Can someone please speak to John Legend?" her latest. And Erin, meanwhile, where can folks find you? You're on social media, I know, if people want to reach out or contact or follow, right?
Would you mind retweeting that article?
I'm going to do it right now.
I appreciate that. People can find me on Twitter on Erin Elmore, Facebook Erin Elmore, and Instagram Erin M as in Michael Elmore. Erin M as in Michael Elmore. Thank you for allowing me to be on today. I consider you a longtime friend and someone really important to The Voice up there. And we had the fun time of doing Sean Spicer's show the other day.
Yes.
It was terrible to come with, but it was good to see your face live and on television.
I hope we'll see more of one another, or maybe I'll have to come down to Florida to visit you, one or the other. I'm not sure which, but one way or the other, we'll see one another again soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm grateful for you. I really am. I mean that.
Likewise. Keep it up, Erin. Thank you.
Thank you for your time today. Take care.
That's Erin Elmore at townhall.com. Yeah, I'm going to tweet that out now. Can someone please speak to John Legend? Quick break here, 7:48.